Welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. Welcome, fellow dregs to society, fellow rock dwellers, sycophants, stinkos, all you hateful people who celebrate the president and honor America. You're always welcome here. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network. And joining me as my co-host is the doctor for the Republic, Dr. Right, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. Nasir, welcome back to Conservative Commandos.
Hey, Rick, great to be here for another show. And let's get it started by saying it's just an absolute another great day, a great week, a great year, a great month to be alive and well and free and living in the United States of America, the gayest country in the history of the world, bar none.
Bar none. In spite, Nasir, of our cities are burning once again. It's sickening. It's a tragedy. And in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, this has actually forced people to start their own militias. Nasir, this is going back to 1776 stuff. Maybe we are going into the next American Revolution.
You know, remember, you're absolutely right. This is all starting because, like we were talking about before, is that dial 911. I mean, how long does that take? And then in some areas, remember what was happening in Portland when they put the barricades up there, the Chaz areas, or whatever the acronyms they were using? Some police weren't even going in there because police are going, wait a minute. If I go in there, I'm putting my own life at risk. The people there don't want me, or some elements of the population don't want me there. And no matter what happens, we're going to be the fall guy. We're going to be the bad guy. And we were told that people in Portland and other areas in Seattle, some of the residents who probably had money living in some nice areas in those areas where they cordoned it off, they hired outside help for security. And that's exactly what's going on here. And now what happens is you just put a volatile situation and you're adding gasoline to it by having citizenry basically policing themselves. And when something happens, you know how the alt-left media is going to spin it. Just like those two husband and wife team in I think it was St. Louis.
Yep.
Remember they just came out on their porch because they saw 200 to 300 people come through their gated community? Those guys took it on a chin because everybody was saying, how dare you come out and threaten peaceful people? Hey, if 200 to 300 people are marching up and down the street coming through a gated community yelling Black Lives Matter, and you know what they did before? You'd be scared out of your mind too. And if you had something to protect yourself, you'd show a show of force as well too. But in this day and age, when you do the right thing, when you have the amendments behind you, it doesn't matter anymore, Rick, because the narrative is going to be spun against you.
Well, Nasir, can you blame those people for coming out on their front step with guns?
No.
Because we've seen this,
Nasir.
We've seen this. Oh, of course, the media does. And, of course, the Democrat liberal politicians in St. Louis who are prosecuting, they do. It becomes a political football. It becomes a way... It becomes a way, Nasir, for politicians that are prosecuting this case to make political hay, to boost their political stock for future ambitions. That's what it is.
That's right. I mean, Rick, just to give you an idea, this is across the wire in Seattle. I mean, you've really got... We don't even hear about this on the national news anymore. You've got to go online to see this stuff. 59 police officers are injured, one hospitalized in a violent Seattle protest. 59 officers.
Incredible.
I mean, can you imagine if 59 BLMers had been injured? Through whatever use of force? You'd see that on the news. They'd be there all over it saying, how dare this force was used against the American public.
Well, Nasir, do you think this is going to backfire in the faces of the Democrats and the liberals, the riots in Seattle and Portland and New York? And you think that do you think we're going to see a backlash against the liberals and the Democrats come November at the ballot box?
Well, you know what? There are some Democrats out there. I don't know how strongly you can sort of take this, but when you even have some Democrat surrogates and some Democrat party liners that have been there for some time, and they themselves are basically saying that when they're surveying the damage of what happened over the weekend, they're also wondering if openly supporting these supposedly quote unquote peaceful protests, are going to hurt the Democrats. To give you an idea, Rick, across the pond, our British counterparts, many of them in the media, many of them in academia, and on the sports side, were gung-ho, right with the BLM movement. Mm-hmm. And then something happened. There were riots that occurred. There were things that happened that when they started taking a look at the BLM websites, and many of these same people that were taking a knee with them, sports heroes and figures and politicians, all of a sudden, they did an about face. And they stood up to these people and saying, that's not what we thought BLM was about. So maybe that's going to happen over here. I think on our side, we see it.
Why do you think it's happening over in England, Nasir?
That was really surprising because...
Why in England and not here?
I think because what happened was that the BBC, some of their own members within the BBC press and the BBC press corps and the television studios, they themselves started talking about this. And so when you had that on the inside happening, that would be akin to, people like Rachel Maddow and, Brian, whatever his name is,
Brian
coming out and basically saying, hey, you know what? I think BLM is wrong. I think what they're doing is wrong. I mean, they want to protest, that's fine. But when they riot, that's a whole different story. So when you had prominent people within the industry come out.
Oh, well, Nasir, you had an ESPN host that during the riots said, when buildings are being burned, he said, let them burn, let them burn, let them burn. He was all over Donald Trump, and he told Donald Trump to chill in the riots. Oh, until it came to his neighborhood, now he wants a gun.
That's true. I mean, they're talking about the anarchists are taking over her city, and she's calling it a summer of love. And President Trump had tweeted back on June 12th that these liberal Dems don't have a clue. They're terrorists, burn and pillage our cities, and they think it's just wonderful. Even the death must end this Seattle takeover now. So this mayor, she scoffed at Trump's tweets. And guess what? When the riots happened, and this time it was a little bit confident, because guess what? They set fire to a Starbucks outlet. And then, like you said, they entered her house and their house. Now all of a sudden, she's saying, you know what? And they're saying, maybe I do need a gun. And you know what, Rick?
Right.
This happens all the time. All these Hollywood hypocrites and congressmen and anybody that's got money, don't they run around with their own personal bodyguards?
Yes.
Armed to the teeth?
Who was the actress?
Telling you and
Lisa, was it? What's her name? Lisa Milano?
Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano. She's, you can't have a gun. She owns two. But you can't have a gun. I can't have a gun. Other Americans can't have a gun. She has two. Hey, Nasir, let's take our first break. And on the other side, we will talk about our guest. And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. Today's show, like all our shows, is being brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. We need it out there, my friends. We need that Second Amendment. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir, Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. For rebroadcasts of our show, please check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. And Nasir, I got an email from a viewer, Les Jones. Les Jones is from Thermalito, California. It says you in your list, you never say anything about Thermalito. We watch you here, so we wanted to give a shout out to Les. And yes, I believe he's picking us up on channel 11.10 from Chico, California. That station pulls in Oroville and Thermalito, so I wanted to say hello to Les. See, Les, I told you I'd give you a shout out. But Nasir, we have 3 great guests joining us once again here on Conservative Commandos.
We do, Rick. First on our lineup is Frank Vernuccio. He serves as the editor-in-chief of the New York Analysis of Policy and Government. And Frank's going to be talking to us about his article, Iran Arms Violate Treaties. And then we've got Chris Stone, who serves as the Director of Political Operations for the National Association for Gun Rights. And thank God for that. And Steve's going to be talking to us about his issue, which is that his group is going to expose, or is exposing, Nancy Pelosi's red flag laws that they've been sneaking in to the legislature. And then finally, we have Steve Hecht, a businessman who's lived in Guatemala since 1972. And he's going to be talking to us about an Obama third term is on the ballot. Could it be Susan Rice?
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. So indeed, we do have three great guests joining us here on Conservative Commandos. And if you'd like to recommend somebody for us as a guest, somebody that you think we should interview, please send us an email. It's easy to do. auntv@yahoo.com. auntv@yahoo.com. We read all our emails. So Nasir, polls, what do you make of the polls these days? Let's talk about the polls. The majority of voters support mask mandate, punishable by fine or jail time. Now, Nasir, I think in some instances it's responsible. It's absolutely responsible to wear a mask. However, if I'm out in public or if I'm out on the street on a 95-degree day like it is here today on the East Coast, if I'm not around anybody, Nasir, I don't want to wear a mask. Why should I be made to wear a mask? Why should I be threatened with fines or even jail if I don't wear one?
Well, Rick, this was over the wires and was there today. You probably know that the doctors were holding a coronavirus, Wuhan virus, sort of symposium for the next 2 days. And they were basically talking about how this mass hysteria has certainly overblown everything. And one of the doctors was saying that he sees people driving in their Prius with a mask over their face, or people jogging in the park with a mask over their face, or people in a swimming pool or the beach with a mask over their face. And this is just pure, absolute hysteria. But you know what this is affecting, Rick? Even my children, to give you an idea. The thing is that we have to inculcate in them that slowly and slowly, our precious freedoms are being eroded from us.
Yes, they are.
Inch by inch, millimeter by millimeter. And so sometimes, my kids will say, Dad, so what if you have to wear a mask? I mean, I'm like, said, I want to show some opposition. The other day we went out shopping. Many of the stores, I'll put a mask in the store. What do I care? But then when I'm walking outside, it was one of those outlet malls, I took it off. My son still had it on. I said, why don't you take your mask off? He said, okay, Dad, I'll just put it down in my chin.
Well, that's what you see a lot of people doing.
Right.
A lot of people are dropping it at least below their nose. Some are, you think, what is this, protecting their beard or whatever?
Right.
Nasir, I think
But it's so stupid, Rick. I mean, here we are. I'm protecting my face, but then I'm touching clothes. I'm touching the shoes. I'm touching the bags.
And you're a doctor. Nasir, you're the doctor. I'm not. I would think you're more apt to pick something up from touching somebody or touching something that an infected person has touched, rather than, okay, you're driving down the road in your Prius with a mask on. Nasir, I think we all have a personal responsibility.
Yes.
For instance, if we're sick, okay, wear a mask. All right. But if you don't have symptoms, if you're not sneezing, coughing, you don't have a fever, you don't have a headache, you're not showing any symptoms of this, my gosh, this mask idea is hey, Nasir, I know you're a baseball fan.
Yes.
I hate to have you as a co-host on my show knowing that you're a New York Yankees fan, but you are. The other day at a baseball game, Washington Nationals wasn't it against the Yankees?
That's
Who
right.
was in the stand? Dr. Fauci, without a mask.
And I guess
that
he
tells you everything
ball.
you need to know about the mask.
There you go. And he's getting killed for it. I mean, he's getting killed for it. First of all, he's getting killed on the social media because he's throwing out the first pitch or whatever that is. This is a guy that didn't want any sport to return. And now he's out there, throwing out the first pitch. Okay, maybe he's on our side. He's probably not. But Rick, here's another thing. The stupidity, the idiocy, the moronicity, the asininity that I call about wearing a mask. You go into a restaurant. They won't let you enter unless you put a mask on. You could go in with 4 or 5 of non-related people, friends, acquaintances, colleagues, not even immediate family members. They don't know. You get seated at the table. Your food comes. Your mask now can come off. You can eat. You can talk. There's people around you to the left, to the right, in front and back. They're doing the same thing. For an hour, you're there, drinking and eating and talking. It's going everywhere, breathing in and out. But then a mask doesn't matter. But guess what? As soon as you're done paying for that check, you better put on your mask before you leave the premises again. This is just pure stupidity, Rick. I mean, it's just stupidity.
Well, I think this whole thing is pure stupidity, Nasir. I've said
It's
it
calculated.
over and over and over again. You're right. It's calculated. It's calculated to get rid of Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, national polls actively trying to suppress Trump voter enthusiasm. What's the story, Nasir?
Well, right now, Tim Murtaugh, who's the director of communications for the Trump reelection campaign, this is what they're doing. This is like deja vu. I just saw a poll come out in North Carolina. Trump's down by 7. All right, in Texas, Trump's down by 1. Let's face it, Rick. If Texas ever turns blue, I mean, we're all screwed.
Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio.
California's in the bag.
It's gone.
New York, New Jersey, it's gone.
They're gone.
Texas, right. So but this is what they're doing. And
Yep.
you know what? The only poll that matters is 270, and that's going to be on November 3rd. But they're trying to suppress the enthusiasm of Trump voters. I don't think it's going to happen, Rick. I don't think so. And I tell people all the time, it is disheartening when you read something, but you got to take a look at it and say, what's it for? Who is this for?
Yep.
It's to make you feel like you're losing. And you can't have that happen to yourself. So I just basically say, whatever it says, don't worry about it. Wait till the debates. We got a lot of days. It's like, I think 98 days left till the election. There's a lot of time between now and the election day.
Oh, I hope there are debates. I really do. My concern about the debates is...
I think they'll have the debates, but it'll be like they're doing the baseball thing. They'll have nobody in the audience.
My concern about the debates is Joe Biden won't show up.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
They know what a massacre that would be. I'd pay money to see that. Hey, Nasir, let's get our next break in, then let's get our first guest on. And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we're going to be speaking with our very good friend, Frank Vernuccio of the American Political Zone, joining us, and he's going to talk about Iran arms violate treaties. We knew that one was coming. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing one-day bath and shower remodeling. The complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day. And for as little as $1.99 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with the Doctor for the Republic, Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. As a reminder, for rebroadcasts of our shows, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. And Nasir, we do have our first guest of the day with us, and it's up to you, my friend, to welcome him to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Rick. We have Frank Vernuccio. He serves as the editor-in-chief of the New York Analysis of Policy and Government. He is also the co-host of the Vernuccio-Novak Report. He also co-hosts the American Political Zone, which is broadcast on the AUN TV network and on cable in Eastern Connecticut. He's also a co-host here on the Conservative Commandos radio show as well. So, Frank, we welcome you back to the Conservative Commandos radio show. How are you doing?
Greetings from behind enemy lines in New York City.
Oh, Frank, you stole that line from somebody.
You never know. Comrade de Blasio and what's his name? Jerry the Kraut Nadler.
Jerry Nadler, who has just
said
that despite everything you're seeing on video, despite all the clear evidence, including in New York, where people are jumping on and pounding police cars, where police are being randomly assaulted in the street, that there is no evidence of violence on the part of leftist protesters. You know, gentlemen, it used to be Democrat against Republican or liberal against conservative. Lately, it seems it's been sanity versus insanity, or real versus science fiction.
Well, I think Jerry Nadler, I think he's the, who is that guy? I had it right in my mind. I lost my train of thought. Herman Goring. He's a Herman Goring of the Democrats' propaganda party. I mean, if you take a look and superimpose the pictures, they look alike.
Yeah, actually, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany was a fellow named Goebbels. And he made the famous comment that if you say a lie long enough and loud enough, eventually it gets taken for the truth. Absolutely. And that exactly is what we're seeing in 2020 in the United States. The left has thrown everything possible at the center and at the right. And unfortunately, because most of the media, most of Hollywood, most of academia is shamelessly in the tank for the left, they have simply echoed these charges without any kind of reality check on what they're doing.
You know, Dinesh D'Souza said something one time that sort of echoes what you're saying, and that is that what happens is these leftist professors, they write a book or an article. It gets published on Wikipedia. It bounces from Wikipedia to another site. Another site corroborates it.
Right.
And then it just basically goes ping-pongs back and forth like a ping-pong ball, and all of a sudden you've got 10, 15, 20 authors all of a sudden they seem to be experts in their field. They all basically, push the agenda. They all basically put their name to it. And next thing you know is you have our children who are growing up, these millennials, Gen Xers and whatever. They read it on Wikipedia and they say,
Right.
oh yeah, you know what? The sky is red. I thought it
You
was
know,
blue, but you know what? It's absolutely red.
if
And
we were
up really is down.
if we were a liberal program, and I said sotto voce to both of you, do you know that Donald Trump isn't actually American? He came from the planet Mars some time ago to destroy our society. Sooner or later, there'd be some semblance of that quoted in some scholarly journal that there were rumors about Donald Trump being an illegal alien. And eventually, somebody would pick it up on CNN or MSNBC, and it would become part of the whole lexicon of the discussion about Donald Trump.
Oh, absolutely. That's what happens. Frank, we want to get to the article that you wrote, which is Iran arms violate treaties. And this was absolutely an article that has so much information on it. And it's like, we've had guests in the past. There's so many things that are going around us. And it seems that in the background, we have China and what they're doing. They're expanding in almost every direction. And now you see Iranian hegemony occurring in the Persian, Gulf area. So explain to us, in a nutshell, this threat that's been there for a long time and this threat that's going to continue. And is there really anything that we can do to stop it? Do we have the moral conviction to basically do what needs to be done to stop Iranian hegemony in the Persian Gulf?
Well, bluntly, I think that the United States has been somewhat exhausted of Mideastern wars. It would take a very overt act on the part of Iran to do something about it. But I think there is something changing in the Middle East, and Donald Trump does deserve some responsibility for it. If you recall, in the month of June, right after Donald Trump was elected in 2016 and 2017 when he took the oath of office, Donald Trump went to Saudi Arabia. And the news media didn't cover it very much, but it was a rather grounds-breaking visit. The Saudis promised to stop funding terrorists. They agreed more or less to cooperate very, very quietly more with forces for peace in the Middle East, read Israel. There is a growing segment of the Middle East now reassured by the president's policies, consisting of, I'd say, Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Israel,
yes,
that are frightened to death of what Iran is doing and are moving together quietly, because for Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan, being associated with Israel is not all that easy. But between the 3 or 4 of those countries, they are aware of the danger from Iran, and I think there is a lot more cooperation going on, which will be stopping Iran rather, in its tracks. Now, unfortunately, while even some folks in that ridiculous organization known as the UN are starting to realize how the Iranians are really moving towards war with their nuclear program, their missile program, and so forth, a lot of our so-called allies are really still not doing what they should be doing. I think chief among the culprits actually is Germany. Germany continues to do a lot of dirty deals with Iran. Technology is being transferred, and that is part of the key problem. We also are seeing a growing closeness between Iran and China. It's not illogical. Iran has oil, China has technology and a lot of money. Iran has neither. And you're seeing this closeness between Iran and China, and that's becoming a major problem.
No, you're absolutely right. And if you would have told me, or anybody, I believe, perhaps yourself too, maybe 20, 25, 30 years ago or whatever, that you would actually have seen some back channel between the governments of Israel and Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Egypt, you probably would have said, you're just nuts. That's just never going to occur. And now it's not just back channels. This is basically out in the open, and you're absolutely right. Look, there are a lot of problems with the the House of Saud and Saudi Arabia. But if you had to pick a partner, and sometimes, you can't pick your partners, they're sort of picked for you. you've got to take the good with the bad. When bad things happen, you've got to show some type of force and say, hey, look what you're doing, can't be condoned. But the bottom line is that if people say, oh, we should drop Saudi Arabia, we need to drop Egypt. That's just not going to happen. I mean, we need to have some partners in that area. Maybe somehow we can exert some control as we've done, but I leave it to you to basically say, I mean, the United Nations that you talk about here, I call it the United Nutcases, but you're right. Everybody, and I don't know, maybe we can't blame these countries for themselves. I mean, they're fending for themselves. They think what they're doing is right for them. I mean, they signed a piece of paper, a parchment. It means nothing these days. Am I wrong?
Well, let's look at the history of alliances in the United States. We were the first republic of any sort to really become a major power. But during the American Revolution, who was our chief ally? A monarchy, France. During the Second World War, who did we ally with? Stalinist Russia. Look, sometimes you have to deal with the problem you have in front of you. And let's not forget, Thomas Jefferson himself said that the United States is not some kind of knight errant going out to slaughter every dragon on the planet. And that's exactly what we have to do. The challenge in front of us is dealing with this extraordinary axis of evil. We've got Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea. They represent the greatest threat to the United States we have ever faced in our history. Russia with its vast landmass and extraordinary technology, China with its wealth, North Korea with its lunacy and aggression, and Iran with its almost barbaric belief that there's a hidden imam out there, that he only comes to being when there's going to be chaos and fire throughout the world. These are dangerous enemies. They are powerful enemies, and we have to deal with them. And whatever alliances we make, well, that's all for the better.
You're so correct. And you write in your article, too, talking about, the technology component. These days, they say the fighting, perhaps, as a lot of pundits say, we shouldn't be putting our blood and treasure in the way. We should have the capability that, somebody in Washington, D.C. or a strategic command, press a button and, off and away we go. And that's exactly what you're saying right now. They lack a modern Air Force, Iran, but their ballistic missile capability has proportionately or exponentially, grown. And now with this Iranian deal that obviously the president has, nixed, so to speak, but it's amazing how often our representatives bend over backwards, knowing full well that countries like Russia and Iran and China and all of these, they sign these documents. We try to verify, and then they put in things like, oh, you can't check us for like 24 days before you have a security check. And we basically take our pen and pencil and go, yeah, okay, that sounds good. We're done. And the alphabet networks, they go crazy because you know what? It at least pushes it under the rug, and we think that something's going to happen. Good. And we know that nothing good's going to happen. It's all going to be bad. Your thoughts?
Yeah, if you look at the history of arms control treaties with the Soviet Union, they were pretty one-sided because basically no one was going to complain in Soviet Russia that the government wasn't living up to its treaty obligations with the United States. On the other hand, within the West, you had the nuclear freeze movement and other organizations which would cry havoc if, in fact, the United States varied one iota from its treaty obligations. And, we have to go back to that history of the nuclear freeze movement, which was on just one side. It was on the side of the West. The Russians were pretty much free to do whatever they want. The nuclear freeze movement never really said much about them. Why? Well, because guess who was funding the nuclear freeze movement? The Soviet Union.
No, you're so right. And we're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, American Political Radio, and AM/FM 24/7, and also being seen on the AUN TV network in California. We're here with our guest today right now, Frank Vernuccio, who's the editor-in-chief of the New York Analysis of Policy and Government. We're going to be right back. We're going to hold Frank over for another segment. We got to do some business with our sponsors, and we're going to be back in a couple of minutes. So, folks, don't go away. Stay tuned.
Attention homeowners, do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. Want to give a shout out to folks who are listening to us and watching us on TV stations in San Francisco, San Rafael, Marin, North Bay, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Santa Rosa, Redding, Chico, Fort Bragg, Napa Valley. You get it, Central Valley, California. Our guest this segment is Frank Vernuccio. Frank is the co-host of the Vernuccio Novak Report and also the co-host of the American Political Zone, which is seen right here on the AUN television network. Frank, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Great being with you both.
Frank, not to break subject here, but to go back to what you and Nasir were talking about at the beginning of our interview with you today, I wanted to get a sense of the feeling New Yorkers, your neighbors, people in your social groups are saying about the unrest that has taken place on the streets of New York.
Well, we've seen this once before, but to a lesser degree. During the mayoralty of David Dinkins, New York became so bad that people were saying it was, and urban experts were saying it was the ungovernable city, that New York could not be governed. Rudy Giuliani beat David Dinkins' re-election bid. 6 to 8 months after Rudy Giuliani took over, New York was suddenly the safest big city in the United States, if not the world. It was being called the capital of the world, a model of urban success. Well, the current mayor, Comrade de Blasio, has not only copied the Dinkins model, but he has gone even further. He is an open socialist in terms of the way he runs the city. And he has done a couple of things which I am frankly astounded that the media has not decided to discuss, except for great shows like yours. He has said that, for example, you cannot have any mass demonstrations in the city of New York except for the ones that he personally approves of, like Black Lives Matter. It's a blatant violation of the First Amendment. I am shocked that it has not gotten to a Supreme Court case as of yet, but that's basically because all the judges on the lower circuit here in New York are pretty much all left-wing liberals, and that is being blown back right there. You have to look at the perspective of the people in New York. Our police department is being defunded $1.5 billion.
But are the people of New York seeing this, Frank? Well, are they saying we can't have this? We need law and order. We need law, order, we need security, and we're not getting it. Obviously, we're not getting it from the mayor. It's not coming from Governor Cuomo. Are they seeing this, Frank?
They are.
What is happening, and are they reacting to it? And the other question is, are they saying, look, I might not like the guy's tweets, but I would feel much safer with a Donald Trump in office than a Joe Biden and his cohorts?
They are, but here's the problem. That's been told to me sotto voce, and I'll tell you that I had conversations over the past month, one with a former Democratic Party committeeman and one with a former Democrat elected official who served both in the New York City Council and the New York State Legislature. Both confided in me that they no longer feel at home in the Democratic Party, that they feel the policies of their party are destroying the city completely. Here is the issue that faces New York. Democrats in New York, who are by far the majority in the city and the state, don't actually vote for the candidate. They seem to vote only for the party. And you could put a combination of Adolf Hitler and Mickey Mouse on the Democrat Party line, run them against a combination of George Washington, Moses, and Jesus Christ on the Republican line, and the Democrats would still vote on the Democrat line. It's
that's stupid.
It is stupid.
I mean, that's.
But it is.
What's that old expression? The sign of lunacy is doing the same thing over and over and over again,
That's
expecting
exactly
different
right.
results. Well, and they let these people vote, Frank. They let these people vote.
It is. It is. I mean, I live in the country club section of New York City. It's an offshoot of the Bronx. It's a suburban sort of peninsula off the Bronx. And the majority here are mostly middle-income folks. They're firefighters, policemen, and so forth. They are rabidly anti-de Blasio. They don't believe that Joe Biden stands a chance of being a good president if he ever got elected. They can't stand
But they're going to vote for him.
But I can tell you a lot of them will pull down that Democrat lever. And it is. I don't know what to say how that happens.
I know what to say. It's stupid.
Well, exactly. There's also
Let's use the S word here. It's stupid.
There's also a problem with some of our elected officials. I'll try to say this as delicately as possible. We have a large number of Black and Latino elected officials. They win solely, frankly, on ethnic identification. There was a case a number of years ago where there was a sitting elected official, an incumbent, a Jewish background, who was as pro-Latino, pro-black as you can possibly get. Had a long history of doing all the right things, civil rights and so forth. However, once a challenger who was black ran against her, despite her long record, she lost. And that's a real major problem. That's a real problem that's being faced here in New York. And I think that's happening a lot of other places as well.
Frank Vernuccio, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on the Conservative Commandos radio show. Sorry we got away from the topic of your article about Iran. However, that's the way conversations go sometimes, Frank. But
well, actually, it's part of a piece, because when you think of being in New York, all you want to do is say, Iran.
There you go. Frank Vernuccio, we want to thank you for joining us here on the Conservative Commandos. Frank, please tell our audience how they can actually read your article, follow your work, listen to your radio show, watch your TV show.
All of our articles are at usagovpolicy.com. You can follow the show, most importantly, by tuning in to the Conservative Commandos and AUN TV in California.
All right. Frank Vernuccio, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
Great being with you both.
And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Nasir, Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we're going to be joined by Chris Stone. He serves as the Director of Political Operations for the National Association for Gun Rights, and we're going to be talking about Pelosi's red flag sneak attack on the House NDAA. Don't go away, or that's the National Defense Authorization Act, for those who didn't want to go for the acronym. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our guest.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now, because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now. now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. And for rebroadcasts of our show, be it our TV show or radio show, the place to go is our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Replays of both are will be up on our website. And Nasir, we do have our next guest with them, and be careful, it better be a good one. The introduction's all yours.
Thank you, Rick. We have Chris Stone, who serves as the Director of Political Operations for the National Association for Gun Rights, and thank God for them. He also leads NAGR's Washington, D.C. lobbying department. Chris, we want to welcome you to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, well, one of the things is that I'm going to do a little cultural appropriation here, but you've got we want to see some of your little friends behind you. Could you show us some of them, please?
Absolutely, yeah. I can get up. Hopefully I won't turn my back to the camera here. You see my earpiece, but we've got 4 different guns here on the wall. This would be a P90. It's a we call it the space gun.
Chris, if you could just
take it off the rack?
Yeah, I can pick it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Show it to us.
Show it.
So this is a P90.
What a beauty! What a beauty!
Yeah, this is a fun little gun. We jokingly call this one the space gun, just because it kind of looks futuristic. But this is a fun little full auto gun that we have. There's a separate entity involved with the National Association for Gun Rights, Paladin Tactical, that has a federal firearms license. So when you see our organization doing like firearms giveaways, we purchase them all through Paladin. So Paladin has a license, and they also own some machine guns. So this is called a P90. It's a little fun little machine gun to shoot. What else we got up here? Make sure I frame these back. I love this one. Now I might age myself a little bit. I'm kind of in my 30s. This is an MP5. So this one's fun for me because I shot this in video games. Growing up playing Call of Duty and stuff. This is one of my personal favorites, especially since it's a 9mm, so it's real easy to shoot when we go out on the range. It brings me back to like my middle school and high school days. This one I've actually never shot. This is cool though. It's got a suppressor on it. This is a Chris Vector. It's chambered in .45 caliber, also fully auto. But I've seen some folks when we go out on the range shoot this on range day. This is great, especially suppressed. It's actually pretty quiet, so I know folks have a lot of fun shooting this one. And then personal favorite of ours, the staff always asks to take this one out. This is a FN Scar, also a full auto with the EO Tech on top. This is a great one to go out. So yeah, we take turns. We do staff shoots a lot of times, and all of us here have obviously private firearms collections, but it's great when we can go out with Paladin Tactical and get to shoot some full autos.
What do those run approximately, Steve?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
What's the cost on some of those? What's the price range?
It's interesting. It depends a lot. So obviously, we as an organization fully believe that all firearms should be deregulated, especially full autos. But fully automatic firearms are regulated by the National Firearms Act of 1934, and also the Hughes Amendment, which was passed in the 80s. So essentially, you basically have price gouging because there's a limited supply of firearms. So if you're a private citizen, you want to buy a firearm. So for a lot of fully automatic firearms, you're going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars to purchase a fully automatic firearm, because you're having to purchase guns that were basically stopped being produced in 1986. Now, Paladin Tacticals, there's some different licenses you can apply for, special operation taxes, which allow you to purchase post-1986 machine guns. So like I know the FN Scar up here up top, this is a post-86 dealer sample we have. So that was probably a few $1,000s, I don't know, but I know for sure like an MP5 on the private market, or an FN on the private market, yeah, you're going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars to acquire one as a private citizen.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I just want to go a little off topic here. I saw previously that gun stocks have been going through the roof.
Absolutely.
During the Obama monarchy years, and obviously even now. And just as self-disclosure, I'm in some of those stocks. One of them was America Outdoor Brands Corporation that used to be Smith & Wesson. And I think they changed their name to be politically correct. I'm not sure. But you know what? They went back to Smith & Wesson now. They're called SWBI. So I think that's just great if that they decided to forget about political correctness and go back to their own, brand name. But I want to talk to you about these red flag, these red flag insertions, so to speak, that are put inside these huge documents that then our House of Representatives, gets to pass in the middle of the night or whenever. And then we don't hear about them and how they're sort of going after our most bravest and truest heroes of our country, which is our servicemen. So could you give us, our listening and viewing audience, of what these red flag sneak attacks are and these insertions in the law and how damaging they can be?
Yeah, absolutely. So to just kind of give a background, and maybe we can do this later as well, red flag, as we call them, red flag gun confiscation laws, because that's what they are. It's gun confiscation, plain and simple. They've really been the kind of hot ticket item for individuals involved in the anti-gun and gun control movement. And obviously, as an organization, we're opposed to all red flag laws. We see these gun control organizations pushing them at the state level. Back in 2019, actually last summer, there was a large push to pass red flag gun confiscation in D.C. And we fought that. We were successful in opposing that coming into law. There were even a lot of Republicans who were caving, saying we should pass red flag gun confiscation. But what these laws essentially do is they allow individuals to essentially petition the courts to say, hey, this person who is my ex-spouse, or in some cases a roommate, in some cases like in California, they can even be school teachers, basically saying this person is a danger to themselves or others with no substantiated evidence, no ability to defend yourself in court. And in a secret court hearing where you're not present and you're not notified, the state can issue a red flag order against you and literally send a SWAT team to your house to come and seize your firearms. We've seen this happen. And so what's happening now, and what you were referencing, is the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021, which funds the United States military. Well, Nancy Pelosi passed their version in the House of Representatives, and they actually inserted red flag gun confiscation into their bill. Now, I just want to be clear, obviously, for all the viewers, as an organization, we proudly support the United States military. We want our nation to be strong and defend our borders 100%. But what she's done is taken this bill and politicized it and weaponized it and basically said, we're going to insert red flag gun confiscation in here as a bargaining chip in order to keep our country safe. I mean, I can't think of anything more ridiculous than using our nation's military as a bargaining chip to pass gun confiscation.
What would you say to the logic and the fallacy that our House of Representatives, and especially those on the Democratic side, use the Vulcan philosophy of Commander Lieutenant Spock when he says that the needs and the safety of the many outweigh the needs and the safety of the one? What would you say to that in terms of, playing devil's advocate?
Well, from our perspective, we want to protect everyone's rights. And it's clear that they're just using this to gain and curry favor with members of their own party. And so we see it as clearly a political play. They're heading into a tough election cycle where they want to rack up seats, they want to rack up wins, and they know individuals like Michael Bloomberg, who's a billionaire who pretty much funds the gun control industry. They're trying to say, how can we get money out of our donor base? And so they're going to take an issue like this where we know, okay, we have to pass funding so we can keep our military strong and protect our country. Let's throw gun confiscation in there and hope people just say, you know what? Well, we've got to kind of include it to get this passed so we can keep our military bases open, keep different overseas operations open and such. So I understand. I mean, from their perspective, it's brilliant for fundraising. They're going to get money from Bloomberg groups. They're going to drum up their base, their supporter base, and they're going to put Republicans in a difficult situation.
Is this one of those things here, Chris, basically that we see all the time, that it seems that the Democrats, they start to put these issues into effect. They've got their staff writers, they've got their people on board that know how to write these legislative laws, and they file them basically in their, in their desks, and then they bring them out, when they need to. Now, obviously, this isn't going to go anywhere because it's not going to go and pass in the Senate, at least not in this Senate.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, my question is, do you think the NRA, how effective do you think the NRA has been in battling the forces against the Second Amendment? And do you feel, as some pundits do, that sometimes the NRA is sort of giving into political correctness a little bit too much? What's your stand on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, the first thing you asked is me definitely, just so I know from my time working on Capitol Hill, they absolutely keep gun control bills just stored away and ready to pop them out at a moment's notice, all for political gain. So, and that's clear what they're doing here. And secondly, yeah, we're very thankful that obviously the Senate version of the National Defense Authorization is a clean bill, doesn't contain any gun control. And so we're getting our members involved to lobby on that, to say, hey, Mitch McConnell, don't even consider Nancy's bill. This is pure garbage. And from our perspective, we consider ourselves a no compromise Second Amendment group. We're very passionate about that and very serious about that. And we realize a lot of our members are also probably members of the NRA. And so we want the NRA aggressively joining us in these fights, especially when it comes to red flag gun confiscation on the state level. Our state groups are very passionately involved in passing constitutional carry. We've been very successful in that. We saw 3 states pass it very recently. And so, yeah, we want them as an organization being more fierce, being more ferocious, for the sake of our Second Amendment rights. And I think gun owners want that as well. And we realize when we get our members involved, great things happen for the Second Amendment. Like I said, last summer when they were trying to pass red flag in D.C., we got our members involved, and I can tell you, we were walking the halls of Capitol Hill, me and some of my colleagues, and we were hearing from friendly offices saying, hey, this is great. We're getting phone calls, we're getting emails, we're getting faxes, we're getting letters of people saying, do not pass this. And we were up there pounding the pavement pretty hard on behalf of our members. And yeah, we would love for the NRA to step up and get more involved in these very serious fights, from the state level, from the local level, in fights like this when it comes to red flag gun confiscation.
Great. Well, we're speaking here with Chris Stone, who serves as the Director of Political Operations for the National Association for Gun Rights. Chris, we'd love to hold you over for another segment, but we've got to take a break. Would you kindly do so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks so much, folks. We're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn American Political Radio, AM/FM 24/7, and can now be seen on the AUN TV network in California. On this side, I'm your host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. On the other side, we've got our executive producer, Rick Trader. Don't go away. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes with Chris Stone.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir, Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. And want to give a shout out to folks who are watching us on TV stations in San Francisco, San Rafael, Marin County, North Bay, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Santa Rosa, Redding, Chico, Fort Bragg, and Napa Valley in California. Our guest this segment is Chris Stone. He serves as the Director of Political Operations for the National Association for Gun Rights, and we're talking about Nancy Pelosi's red flag law. She's sneaking into the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. Chris, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to be here.
Hey, Chris, this is alarming to me, and I'll tell you what's alarming to me. This week, the House voted 295 to 125 to approve the National Defense Authorization Act. Buried deep within the 1,400 pages is authorization for military judges and magistrates to use the so-called military court protective orders, aka red flag gun confiscation orders. Chris, 295 to 125. I know this bill was 1,400 pages. What is this deal that so many Republicans voted for this thing? Is it, well, we need to pass this thing to find out what's in it? I mean, Chris.
Yeah, it's troubling.
I had over 50 Republicans voted for this.
It's troubling, and I think it's a great reminder for all of us as Americans that even though it's hard, we have to hold our elected officials accountable, and that's fundamentally what we want to do as an organization, and that's how we try and get our members involved. And it's clever, it's sick, but it's clever when Nancy Pelosi takes a bill as important as funding our nation's military to keep our country safe and throws red flag in there and buries it deep inside, and people kind of come to the decision of, well, what are we supposed to do? Now, thankfully, there's a lot of good conservatives who did not vote for this bill, and
a lot of Republicans did.
A lot did, and thankfully the Senate version of this bill doesn't have red flag in it, but it's a reminder of even a bill like this where you'd think, oh, it's a national defense authorization, the only things pertaining to guns are buying tanks and planes and bombs, to keep our country safe, and unfortunately stuff like this gets inserted, and so that's why we have to be vigilant to keep our elected officials accountable.
Do they know? Do the Republicans that voted for this know what was in it?
That's a great question. I would hope they know what they're voting for. Unfortunately, a lot of times, I know from my time working on the Hill, not everyone really reads the bills. Sometimes they don't even have the time to read the bills, and they just kind of show up and vote. So you'd hope they'd actually thought about what they did before going to the floor and casting a yes vote. But this is why it's, again, like I said, critically important, especially when things come through committee. I mean, obviously the House of Representatives is controlled by Nancy Pelosi. She's going to put all her folks in charge of committees. But there's tons of ways where we can use the legislative process to slow legislation down, to draw attention to this stuff. And so it's a scary moment when you see people like that, so-called conservative Republicans voting for a bill that contains gun control. And who else knows what else is in there as well, as far as things not related to the Second Amendment. Obviously, that's what we focus on, but there could be a lot more other awful stuff in there.
Well, thank God there are groups like yours. Thank God there are people like yours. Not only to let we, the people, know, but hopefully wake some people up on Capitol Hill. I mean, This is... Chris, let's talk about red flag laws, okay? 17 states have red flag laws as of now. Is that correct? And explain to us a little bit about how these red flag laws affect people's lives.
Yeah, so there's at least 17. I think it could be more after these legislative sessions. We'll have to check that. But if you visit our website at nationalgunrights.org, we actually have a section on our website that talks about red flag in great detail, and it breaks down. We have a whole chart that breaks down state by state these laws and how they take people's Second Amendment rights away. But essentially what they are is legislatures at the state level have been passing these. We don't have a national red flag law yet, but that's what the Democrats want to pass. And essentially what they want to do is they want to pass a law that will say, hey, look, we'll every time we pass a budget, we'll incentivize X millions of dollars in grants. That if your state passes a red flag law based on our stipulations, we'll give you money to start passing these laws and take people's guns away. So it's essentially bribery. I mean, that's literally what legalized bribery is. And the way these laws work is these states pass bills that say, hey, look, if you're a person and you think that there's somebody who might be, that you don't want to have guns, you can go to a court without this person ever being notified, without everyone ever having due process of law, without ever being able to defend yourself in court. Someone could literally fill out a piece of paperwork saying, I think this person shouldn't have guns, here's why, hand it to a judge, and then a judge can look at it and say, well, yeah, based off of this one person's testimony with no substantial evidence, we're going to literally send the police to your house and come take your firearms. And this isn't made up. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now in America. It happened, one of the more prominent cases, a tragic case in Maryland, where there was
I was going to ask you about that. Could you tell us about that case? Also in your talking points, Nasir, get this. And who can trigger these red flag laws? Abusive partners and criminals are able to use red flag to disarm their partners, neighbors, and potential victims.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Tell our audience a little bit about that case in Maryland, Chris.
Yeah, so there was a man in Maryland who had a red flag law executed against him, wasn't a criminal, had no idea that there was a red flag petition executed. I can't remember what month of the year it was, but it was in the wintertime months. So wintertime on the East Coast, even the Mid-Atlantic, it's dark and cold, even late into the morning. I believe it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. So dark, he's asleep in bed. He hears pounding on his door. Most of us, what are you going to do if you're sound asleep in your bed and you hear...
Tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, exactly. You hear loud banging on the door. He got up, grabbed his gun, opened the door. Who's there? It's the police. There's an unfortunate altercation and he was shot dead. Now, we want to be clear. We support our nation's police and military. But what you're seeing with these laws is it's putting police and honest citizens in undue harm with one another. There was no reason for a red flag law to be executed against this guy who had never committed a crime. So what happens is honest police officers who are trying to do their best to protect our nation, protect our streets, keep our children safe, we're basically saying you have to enter into a risky situation We have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, because think about it. Right now, under the law, if we know that somebody is a criminal, if we know that somebody is a violent, felonious criminal, you can't own a firearm. It's illegal, right?
Chris, we're coming up a hard break, but there's one other point we got to get in here.
Absolutely.
It says we are urging our 1.5 million members and supporters to contact Senator Mitch McConnell to oppose Pelosi's anti-gun funding bill. You know, Chris, not only your 1.5 million members, but our viewers and listeners, tell them what they need to do.
Absolutely. Pick up your phone. You can just get on Google, call Mitch McConnell. The reason we want to call Mitch McConnell is because he's the majority leader. He controls what happens in the United States Senate. If we call his office and say, Mr. McConnell, do not even consider Nancy's bill, that pressure leveraged against the majority leader's office is a reminder that law-abiding gun owners are paying attention to what's happening in Washington, D.C. So please call his office. Your message should be as simple as, do not consider Nancy Pelosi's red flag NDAA bill. Don't even bring it to the floor. We'd appreciate everyone's activism on this area of protecting our gun rights.
Chris Stone, Director of Political Operations, National Association for Gun Rights. It's right there on my cap. It's right there in my cap, people. Chris, please tell our audience how they can find out more about the National Association for Gun Rights.
Absolutely. You can check us out on the web at nationalgunrights.org, or if you're on Facebook, we have a great Facebook page where we post a lot of content. We post content to our YouTube page as well, National Association for Gun Rights. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. You can sign up for our free email list. But we appreciate your support. You know, really, it is our members who make us strong and have racked up victories over this last decade. So we would appreciate everyone coming in and joining us in this fight.
You know, Chris, I think for anybody who's observing what is going on in the streets of America, in our inner cities, they've got to begin to understand the police can't be there to protect all of us. The police are under siege right now. We've got to take it upon ourselves to protect ourselves, or to be ready to protect ourselves. Nasir and I were talking a little bit ago about an ESPN host who was all over Donald Trump's case until, guess what? He was threatened. Now he wants a gun. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah, no, you are the first line of defense. You know, like we always like to say, you know, 45, 9mm are all faster than dialing 911. And when it comes to your right to defend yourself and your family and your loved ones, that is your natural God-given right. We do not want anyone to take that away from you.
Well, Chris, I'm not worried about you. You got all those little friends behind you. But, Chris, thank you so much for joining us here on the Conservative Commandos radio show. One more time, your website.
Nationalgunrights.org.
Nationalgunrights.org. Chris Stone, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
Thank you.
And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Nasir Shaikh and yours truly, Rick Trader. And on the other side, we're going to be speaking with Steve Hecht. Steve is a businessman who lives in Guatemala. We hope our connection with him is good. And we're going to be discussing an article Steve wrote. And Obama's third term is on the ballot. Don't go away. We'll tell you how right after this break.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419.
That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing one-day bath and shower remodeling. The complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day. And for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. For rebroadcasts, please check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. And don't forget to like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And Nasir, we do have our next guest with us, and the honor of that introduction is up to you.
Thank you, Rick. We have Steve Hecht, who's a businessman who's lived in Guatemala since 1972. He's also produced a mini documentary called From Hillary with Love that details the Clinton-Obama role in imposing a collectivist regime on Guatemala. As lived in Guatemala for the last 40 years, Steve's had a front row seat to the impact of U.S. policies in the area and how they've impacted illegal immigration on both sides. So, Steve, we want to welcome you back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Thank you very much, Nasir Rick. It's a pleasure to be back with you.
Well, great. Well, we wanted to talk to you about the article here that you wrote that an Obama third term is on the ballot. But before we do so, for those of our listening and viewing audience that haven't had the pleasure of seeing or hearing you before, give us an idea. What was it that made you sort of, what was it about Guatemala that sort of intrigued you and you sort of fell in love with and have been living there for so long?
Well, it's a beautiful country. And after I finished business school, I was looking for something to do other than working in large corporations. I had some contacts in Guatemala and some in New York, and I decided to try to start some business. And I was successful doing that. And the country is beautiful, the people are nice, and the weather is as good as you can get.
All right. Well, you know, in your article, you wrote about that Susan Rice is a logical choice for Joe Biden's running mate. And I know in the past, you know, when we're at dinners and talking with colleagues, you know, people ask, you know, who do you think is going to be their running mate? And, you know, bring up names before. I brought her name up in the past. My thing with her was I thought she had so much baggage on her side that it might be one of those things where when the Democrats are looking at it in terms of, because she couldn't get the nomination, obviously, for Secretary of State, you know, she sort of took the, you know, the proverbial axe, you know, for our monarch in chief at that time. You know, my question to you is, what makes you think that she's got the peculiar traits that they would be looking for this time?
Well, that baggage is exactly the trait. I mean, the incident you're talking about was when she went on 5 Sunday shows in 2012 election, and blamed the attacks in Benghazi, where 4 of our people died, on an obscure video. And everybody knows the video had nothing to do with it. And Hillary Clinton turned down that assignment. National Security Advisor Tom Donilon turned down that assignment. And Susan Rice accepted it, went on 5 Sunday shows, and bold-faced lied to the American public. And she, of course, knew she was lying. That's why she couldn't get confirmed as Secretary of State. But the fact that she is willing to do whatever it takes to be loyal to the Obama team is precisely her qualification today.
No, absolutely. And you're talking about what she did in the past. I mean, she's currently, as you say as well, on the circuits, on, the MSNBCs of the world and the NBCs of the world and all the alphabet, news channels. My question to you is that, do you think that if she were to be chosen, that there's enough ammunition and baggage around her that would provide good fodder for the Republicans to sort of, go after her? Or do you think that she's sort of immune from all of that because it's already been discussed in the past?
I think it's a combination of all of that. But think about, if you think about the platform that Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders came up with, I mean, that's enough to disqualify them. Forget about who the vice president is. You could have the best vice president in the world. What's the difference? So these people feel that they're immune. They're media partners, and they're partners. All of those media outlets, corrupt media, they're political action committees. They are part of this. And those people feel that they can hide the defects.
Give us a sense that you wrote in your article in terms of where you say you actually witnessed the Obama and Biden imposing successors of the Fidel Castro-supported guerrillas in Guatemala. You said you saw their willingness of the Obama monarchy to break any law and achieve their objectives. And you said even before the information emerged from Obamagate, you sort of had an idea and knew that Obama and Biden had criminally attempted to fix the 2016 election. So give us a sense of what you're seeing from your perspective as to some of the laws that were broken by the Obama administration.
Yeah, say that again.
Basically, the question was, where do you see, you said that you saw that the willingness of the Obama administration to break the laws to achieve their objectives in Guatemala. So give us some examples of those.
Yes. In 2010, the U.S. ambassador for the highest court in Guatemala to remove an attorney general and to put in a person that the Obama administration wanted in, who protected the guerrilla successors and persecuted legitimate authority. Kind of like the same thing you're seeing in U.S. cities today with the Soros DAs. And in 2015, between 2014 and 15, Joe Biden traveled to Guatemala to leverage $1 billion of U.S. aid to have a criminal United Nations commission, use that commission to take over the high and to control criminal prosecution. Again, the first prosecutor's term had been up, and they put in a second prosecutor to follow her, and that prosecutor has put people in jail, political opponents, without evidence and in violation of law. And so they essentially took over criminal prosecution and the judiciary and broke the law, continuously doing it.
You know, Steve, you also write, you talk about the John Durham investigation, and the prosecutions hopefully resulting from it depend on the November 3rd election. Do you think that, I mean, you know, this is something that we hear all the time. You know, we hear from our pundits on the right, we hear from conservative commentators, they say, just wait, you'll see, these guys are going to go to jail, the axe is going to fall, the guillotine is going to do it, and then you see the Clintons of the world, the Susan Rices of the world, the Taylors of the world, the all these people, the Comeys, all of them. Nothing ever happens to them. And so do you think that anything is really going to come out the Durham and the Barr investigations?
I think that completely depends on if Donald Trump is reelected. If he is, I do believe it's going to happen. And if Biden is elected, he is going to squash those investigations and end any prosecutions that might be proceeding at that time.
Do you feel that maybe this could be, Republicans don't play this game? I've never really seen happen these, what they call the October surprises or whatever. They always seem to come from the left. I may be wrong about that. But do you feel that something might come out prior to the election in terms of this investigation, at least something? Or do you think that Durham and Barr basically are trying to keep a lid on this and no leaks at all?
No, I don't think so. I think that Bob Barr is the real deal. I think he's a legitimate guy. I think the problem is that he's got a huge amount of resistance within the Justice Department, just like I've seen in the State Department. And part of the problem that Trump has had in these last 3.5 years is what's known as the deep state. And he's going to have to deal with that in his second term. The permanent bureaucrats are simply against anybody that wants them to have to follow the law and obey the Constitution, which means the president sets policy within the law, and they don't like that. And so they're resisting him. So it wouldn't be surprising to me to not see much happen before the election, but my hope is that Trump is well aware of this and will take care of it in his second term.
Oh, absolutely. And here's a situation, and I see a great fear on both sides. Every time we hear this, ever since, I've been able to, to vote, you always hear, this is going to be the biggest election of your lifetime. This is it. It wasn't 4 years ago. It wasn't 8 years ago. It wasn't when Ronald Reagan won it. This is it. And I think somehow we have to sort of echo that again, because the fear is, I think on the left and the Democrat side is, if President Trump, and God willing, he's elected again, he doesn't have to, okay, like you said, the deep state can be out there. The media is going to be after him, Hollywood, academia, everybody. But guess what? He will have literally free reign to do what he wants without worrying about being reelected again. And I think that's the fear on the Democrat side. The fear on our side is that everything that he's done to make America great again is going to go down the toilet bowl, basically, because we've elected Biden, and then, of course, the courts are in play and all of that. Your thoughts, sir?
I believe that this is the most important that since 18, we've had two critical elections. 1868, the cohesion of the Union was at stake. But if it divided, you would have had a geographic division. Now we have a division that is not geographic, it's internal. You can't separate it by location. And the Democrat Party has gone hard left. When I say hard left, I mean this is and Obama, that was continuing the preparation and growing that preparation for the revolution. And now we see it on our streets and old cities. And if Biden is, you're going to see that revolution spread all over the country. And they are going to do exactly what they did in Guatemala, which is persecute their political enemies and protect the crimes of their friends. And this will create a conflict that's almost unimaginable and not enough Americans recognize. I mean, I've been observing this stuff for 50 years, and it's a serious challenge. Our liberty is at stake. This election is about liberty versus tyranny, and the entire Democratic platform confirms this. Barack Obama's history.
You're absolutely right. Steve, we've sorry.
That's why Susan Rice is
Sorry, I've got to cut you off there. We're coming up against a hard break. We're speaking here with Steve Hecht, who's a businessman who's lived in Guatemala since 1972. And we're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn American Political Radio, and AM/FM 24/7, and also can be seen on the AUN TV network in Northern California. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back with Steve Hecht on the other side. And we've got to take a quick break with our sponsors. So we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And once again, welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. And I want to give a shout out to folks who are listening to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Our guest this segment is Steve Hecht. He's an American living in Guatemala. Steve's lived in Guatemala for the last 40 years, and we're discussing an article that he wrote. An Obama third term is on the ballot. Steve, thank you for holding through that break. We really do appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure, Rick. It's great to be with you and Nasir.
Steve, you said something. You said something when you were talking with Nasir in the first segment that in 2014, Joe Biden went down to Guatemala and he held back funding coming from the United States to Guatemala, and he was holding back the funding because he wanted a prosecutor removed?
No, he didn't hold back the funding. He dangled the funding.
Well, hello.
The same thing. Yeah.
Steve, are you talking about Guatemala or are you talking about the Ukraine? I mean, Nasir, do you see this? I mean, this seems to be a pattern. Steve.
Yes, it is.
Steve Hecht, I think you're breaking news here because we've all heard about, and we've seen Joe Biden bragging about holding back funding that was designated for the Ukraine, all right, until he got a prosecutor removed, a prosecutor who is investigating a gas and oil company that hired his son. And Steve Hecht, you're telling us he did the same thing in Guatemala.
Yes, he did. He dangled $1 billion in U.S. aid to the Northern Triangle, that's Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. What he wanted was to extend that United Nations Commission. And the president of Guatemala extended that United Nations Commission. And that United Nations Commission was criminal. And they used that commission to co-opt the new prosecutor. They had lost the first prosecutor. She was such a criminal.
Well, there you go, another prosecutor. Nasir, are you hearing this?
I'm hearing it, but you know what? That's what they do. It's okay for the Dems to do that.
This is again, we've heard it all about Ukraine. I would like to, now we're hearing Biden did the same thing in Guatemala. Nasir, I want to know, I would like to know, I wish somebody out there had some information where else he may have held back or dangled U.S. funds to get what he wants. I mean, this seems to be the Joe Biden MO. Am I crazy here?
It is.
I'm hearing this. Hey, Steve, I wanted to ask, in your article, you talked about Obama and Biden. You says Obama knows he'll have to carry Biden with diminished faculties across the finish line. Rice's loyalty to Obama and the radical left, her disregard for the truth, make her the perfect choice for running mate. So it's not that she's a dark-skinned person. It's not that she's a woman, but it's the fact of her loyalty, not to Joe Biden, not to the United States of America, but to Barack Obama, that makes her the perfect choice to be Joe Biden's running mate. Am I reading this correctly?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant to say.
You're also writing here, Obama has a larger stake in this election than anyone in the country. A larger stake in this election than anyone in the country. Steve Hecht, tell us about that.
Well, Barack Obama wants two things. One, in 2008, in the campaign, he promised to transform America. What he didn't explain was that transformation is from a democratic republic into a one-party state that's socialist. And that's pretty obvious to me based on what I saw in the U.S. and also based on what I saw him do in Guatemala. I mean, he supported the Fidel Castro-supported guerrillas to take over. He imposed those communists on Guatemala, and they have committed a lot of crimes. And so Obama wants to continue that. And we see that revolution in the streets of the United States in the major Democrat-controlled cities today. He wants to extend that to the entire country. And he also wants to protect himself from prosecution and his team because he knows what he did. Now, I knew it because I saw what he did in Guatemala. But now we have evidence in the United States indicating that himself was involved in what's now today known as Obamagate. And Susan Rice was also involved in it. That memo she wrote herself, where she repeated multiple times, Obama had said, you have to do this by the book. How do you spy on an opposition campaign? Just the simple fact that you're spying on your opponent. And Obama felt that he was on the ballot just as much as Hillary Clinton was. And today, Obama's on the ballot even more than Joe Biden is.
Very interesting.
He wants to lead that takeover.
Steve Hecht, we're losing connection with you again. Sorry about that, Steve. Steve, we'll have to have you back on the show when we can get a little bit better connection with you. Sorry about that. But you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Dr. Wright, Dr. Nasir, Shaikh, and yours truly, Rick Trader. Our guest has been Steve Hecht. His article is, An Obama Third Term is on the Ballot. Don't go away. Nasir and I will be back with more right after this break.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000.
You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club
for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry.
They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more.
Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and zero deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now. now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Well, Nasir, that just about wraps it up for today's show. I want to thank you for sitting in as my co-host. And Nasir, for our friends out there who want to keep track of you when you're not here on Conservative Commandos, either with Sharon, Melissa, George, or myself, what can they do? Where can they go?
Well, thank you, Rick. Well, listen, like I always say, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, oh, those guys are always wrong. Listen,
Yes.
you go to my website, www.dr, and then my name, NASIR, SHAIKH.com. So drnasirshaikh.com. Twitter at Nasir Shaikh Show. That's at Nasir Shaikh Show. Or on Facebook. You can follow us, and friend us at The Nasir Shaikh Show. That's The Nasir Shaikh Show. I want to also thank our guests. Our first guest was long time here on the show, Frank Vernuccio, editor-in-chief of the New York Analysis of Policy and Government. Frank was talking to us about his article, Iran Arms Violate Treaties. We also had a great interview with Chris Stone. You want to see some fine little friends? You can see them because Chris serves as the Director of Political Operations for the National Association for Gun Rights, and thank God that he does. He was talking to us about the issue about these red flag laws. And finally, we had Steve, a business from Guatemala since 1972. And he was talking to us about an Obama third term on the ballot. And once again, Rick, 3 great guests, great information, great topics, once again here on the Conservative Commandos radio show.
All right. But for right now, we are out of time. We got to run. We got to go. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.